Hello everyone. We are going to talk about phosphorus and sulfur cycles. Yeah, today phosphorus or P. Phosphorus is an important constituent of protoplasm and required for metabolism of all living organisms. Though it is found in soil, its major storehouse is the rock deposits. Agricultural crops contain 0.05 to 0.5% of phosphorus in their tissues in the form of several compounds. It occurs in soil in inorganic and organic forms. The inorganic forms are derived from parent rocks or through fertilizers application and manuring with bone meal, manuring of soil. They are soluble in water when present as phosphates of sodium, potassium, calcium, or magnesium. The organic phosphorus containing compounds are derived from plants and microorganisms, and they are composed of phospholipids, nucleic acids, phosphorylated sugars, coenzymes, phytin, and other compounds. Now we have some transformation processes of phosphorus in the soil. First one is alternation of solubility of inorganic compounds of phosphorus. Second is mineralization of organic compounds with the release of inorganic phosphate. Immobilization of phosphorus, that is the third one. So here we have conversion of inorganic available ions into organic forms or cell components. We have also seen these steps mineralization and immobilization with regard to nitrogen in nitrogen cycle. Then here we have oxidation reduction reaction of inorganic phosphorus compounds. So these are the transformation processes of phosphorus in the soil, and through these that phosphorus changes from inorganic to organic form and then less available form or compound form to more available forms for the plant. Out of these four processes, only two processes, mineralization and immobilization, are important microbiologically. In the soil, we have 15 to 85% of total phosphorus that is organic, and this is unavailable to plants. So, to make it available, microbiological conversion into inorganic forms are required. So, these inorganic forms derived from microbiological processes are solubilized by many microbes into solution so that plants can take them up. Such microbes are abundant in the root surface of the plants. Phosphate solubilization commonly requires acid production, and the microorganisms produce that acid. And here, mycorrhizal fungi have role to play. They produce the acids, organic acids, and make phosphate solubilized and available to plants. There are many species of bacteria and fungi like Pseudomonas, Bacillus, Flabobacterium, Mycobacterium, Micrococcus, Penicillium, Fusarium, Aspergillus. These are associated with phosphorus conversion. Mycorrhizal fungi play a key role in making phosphorus available to host plants. So, if we say that the only nutrient which is made available to plant by mycorrhiza, the most important one, it will be phosphorus. Now let us see the transformation processes one by one in detail. Solubilization of inorganic phosphorus. Insoluble inorganic compounds of phosphorus are largely unavailable to plants. So these insoluble inorganic compounds can be made soluble by many microorganisms. And these P solubilizing microbes are Pseudomonas striata, Micrococcus, Bacillus. So these are all bacteria. Then we have Fusarium, Aspergillus, they are fungi. Now these bacteria are known as PSB, phosphate solubilizing bacteria, like Pseudomonas striata is a phosphate solubilizing bacterium, PSB. These microorganisms solubilize calcium salts, iron, aluminium, magnesium, and manganese phosphate. P or phosphorus is solubilized by the production of organic acids, and these acids convert calcium phosphate to di and monobasic phosphates and releases P or phosphorus to plants. Solubilization of phosphates by plant roots and microorganisms is dependent on soil pH. In neutral and alkaline soils having a content of calcium, precipitation takes place. So it becomes insoluble. In neutral and alkaline soil, phosphorus becomes insoluble. Microorganisms and plant roots readily dissolve such phosphate, say calcium phosphate, and make them available to plants. So presence of acid is important, organic acids especially, and these organic acids come from microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, mycorrhiza, and even plant roots. We know that plant roots secrete lots of organic compounds. Those are exudates or root exudates. So these root exudates also help in making phosphate available to plants. Acid soils, on the other hand, are generally poor in calcium ions, and phosphates are precipitated in the form of ferric or aluminium compounds which are not soluble. So we have problem both in the alkaline or neutral soil and also in the acid soil. In alkaline or neutral soil, we have more of calcium. So calcium phosphate is formed and this becomes precipitates, and so it becomes unavailable to plants. Whereas in the acid soils, where we have less of calcium but more of iron or aluminium, the phosphates become ferric phosphates or aluminium phosphate and become insoluble. And so in acid soil also ferric and aluminium phosphates which are insoluble, so make the phosphate unavailable to plants. So therefore, the role of organic acids produced by microorganisms and the plant roots. These microorganisms which are present in the rhizosphere have a lot of role to play for phosphorus nutrition of the plants. The second transformation process is mineralization. Mineralization means the complex organic forms are converted to simple inorganic forms. So here organic form of P is the one which is targeted, and this organic form of P is the larger reservoir of P in the soil. By the action of bacteria and fungi and also actinomycetes, which are also bacteria, this bound P or organic form of P in the vegetation or in the soil organic matter is made available to the plants. So we have many forms of organic compounds, nucleic acids, phytin, lecithin, and so on. So they are made simpler by microbiological processes and they become available to plant. Mineralization is favored by warm temperature, with the thermophilic range being more favorable than mesophilic range. Neutral pH increases phosphate release, which favors microbial metabolism. Mineralization is mediated by the enzymes called phosphatases. These enzymes, phosphatases, cleave phosphorus from more frequently encountered organic substrates. Phytases, these are also enzymes. They liberate phosphate from phytic acid or the calcium magnesium salt like phytin. So they remove phosphate one at a time and yield many soluble forms of phosphates. Many microorganisms like Bacillus, Pseudomonas, Aspergillus, Penicillium, Rhizopus, they can synthesize the enzyme. Mycorrhizal fungi are also able to mineralize organic form of P and increases P uptake by the plants. The third transformation process is immobilization. So it is the assimilation of inorganic form of P or phosphorus into compound form or more complex form, that is immobilization. It is a process opposite to mineralization. Now the process of assimilation of P into microbial nucleic acid, organic compounds, phospholipids or other protoplasmic content is called as immobilization. So it leads to accumulation and the phosphate becomes non-utilizable further. So it becomes organic. Phosphorus turns into organic form. Phosphorus accounts for about 0.5 to 1% of fungus mycelium and 1 to 3% of the dry weight of bacteria and actinomycetes. Then we have oxidation reduction reactions. Phosphite is oxidized to phosphate. A number of heterotrophic bacteria, fungi, and actinomycetes utilize phosphite as a sole P source. Hypophosphites can also be oxidized to phosphate by heterotrophic microorganisms. Phosphate is reduced to phosphite and hypophosphite. So here the microorganisms play a role in the oxidation reduction reaction of inorganic form of phosphorus. So we have phosphorus cycle here. The sole source of inorganic form of phosphorus in the soil is rock phosphate. From there we get phosphorus which get fixed chemically in the soil. Then this chemically fixed P becomes available to plants through the action of microorganisms. From plants, phosphorus compounds move to animals. Then from animals again we get the phosphorus back in the soil. Then these plants and animals after death they are microbiologically degraded and we get mineralization occurring, and so we have mineralization, we have immobilization, we have many other processes which occur cyclically in the nature. Many of the processes are microbiologically governed. So this is phosphorus cycle. Next we come to sulfur cycle. Sulfur, it is an essential element for all living beings. As such, it is not so useful to plant because it is inert. So its oxidized or reduced forms can be used by microorganism or plants. It can occur in organic form like amino acids, vitamins. Sulfur is there in many compounds. Amino acids like cysteine is one amino acid, methionine is one amino acid, cysteine is another amino acid. So sulfur is present in many amino acids and also in vitamins. Inorganic forms are also there like sulfates. We have a sulfur cycle here. We have assimilation in one side and decomposition in another side. So sulfur, it is oxidized to sulfate. Plants, bacteria can take the sulfur in this form and then convert to organic form. So here we have assimilation, or you can say immobilization. Then proteins. So we have sulfur compounds here. Then these sulfur compounds are decomposed. So you have mineralization here, fungi, bacteria. They take part in mineralization, and we have hydrogen sulfide. Sulfate can also be reduced by anaerobic respiration to hydrogen sulfide, which can be further oxidized to sulfur by many bacteria, lithotrophic bacteria or photosynthetic bacteria, and this sulfur cycle occurs here in this manner. There are four distinct transformations of sulfur: decomposition or mineralization, immobilization, oxidation of inorganic ions or compounds, then reduction of sulfides or sulfates. So basically here we have some microbes where proteins, especially the sulfur containing ones, they are microbiologically decomposed and we get amino acids which are sulfur containing. These amino acids are further degraded to hydrogen sulfide as far as sulfur compound is concerned. Then this hydrogen sulfide is oxidized by thiobacillus to sulfate. This sulfate can be utilized by microbe or plant to form amino acids again. So it is immobilized again. Mineralization. It refers to conversion of organic form of sulfur into inorganic form, and it is mediated through many microorganisms. So mineralization is a term that is not new to us anymore because we have seen this term with respect to nitrogen cycle, phosphorus cycle. The released sulfur is either absorbed by plants or escaped into atmosphere in the form of oxides. So mineralization is a conversion of organic form to inorganic form. This inorganic form can either be absorbed by plants or it can return to atmosphere in the form of oxides. Oxidation can occur both aerobically and also anaerobically. Bacteria, we have some filamentous bacteria like Begia tua, Thiothrix and Thioloca. They take part in oxidation. Hydrogen sulfide oxidized to sulfur. Non-filamentous forms of bacteria like Thiobacillus, they also take part in oxidation and we get sulfuric acid formed. Sulfuric acid is a very corrosive and very strong acid, inorganic acid. Then we have fungi and actinomyces which also take part in oxidation of sulfur like Aspergillus, Penicillium, Microsporium. Reduction, it means the sulfur, inorganic sulfur is reduced into hydrogen sulfide and this reduces the availability of sulfur for plant nutrition. So we have D-sulfovibrio D-sulfuricans, Clostridium species. So here we get reduction. Hydrogen sulfide is formed, so it is not available to plant or microbes for nutrition. So with this phosphorus and sulfur cycle ends here. If you have any query, you can write to me in the comment box. Thank you very much.